Now this is a very interesting CT scan of the brain where I want to show you the cerebral edema. Now what do you mean by cerebral edema? Cerebral edema means it is actually swelling of the gray matter of the brain. So whenever we say gray matter, we are always talking about the peripheral portion of the brain, because we know the peripheral part, which is the outside part, is all consisted by the neurons. Means these are the structures where there is actually gray bodies or neurons, and the middle part is usually comprised by the white matter, means where the all fibers of the neurons go through, and those go to the spinal cord, brainstem, and the spinal cord actually. So this white matter appears white in color because it is highly, these fibers are highly covered with myelin, and this myelin is basically white in color, so we call it as white matter. Whereas the outside portion of the brain is usually all consisted by the gray matter or actual neuronal bodies, and they appear gray in color, so we call it as gray matter. So the outside portion or this portion is all gray matter, and the in between this gray matter what we have, these sulci. So these black things, these are all sulci. These are all sulci, means where actually there is no brain material or there is no gray brain matter. So where this is actually a vacant space where there is nothing. So the outside portion which has like brain matter like this, so this portion is all the gray matter, whereas the portion between the gray matter is called sulcus, where usually we don't have anything, which is a space, a vacant space. So here this black is sulcus, 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 this is black is sulcus. So we have pretty good sulci present everywhere. So this is all sulcus, means there is actually vacant space, and there is no swelling of this gray matter. This gray matter is not swollen. Now what happens actually whenever there is injury or whenever there is damage because of any reason? So if the patient has road traffic accident or contusional injury, or if the patient has subarachnoid hemorrhage, then very commonly, or in hyponatremia, this gray matter, for example, if this is the gray matter, this is not swollen, this gray matter is not swollen, that is the reason why you have space here, this sulci is clear. But whenever this gray matter gets swollen, so automatically what will happen is, if you have good space in between, if this is the gray matter and this is the gray matter, you have pretty good space in between. But if this gets swollen, so automatically this gray matter will look like this, and this will also look like this. So these gray matter gets swollen, so they automatically compromise this sulci, so that the sulci will not be evident. The prominent sulci which are here, 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 these black structures will get compromised because all this gray matter will get swollen. So instead of appearing these sulci, instead of appearing it as a radiolucent or black, this will appear radio opaque or white in color. So here the patient does not have any cerebral edema. See how good we can see the sulci. The sulci are so prominent because the gray matter, which is like this, is not swollen, and whenever they'll get swollen, automatically they will compromise the sulci. Now see this image. In this image, this is the patient with road traffic accident, and this patient had subarachnoid hemorrhage. Subarachnoid hemorrhage means bleeding in subarachnoid space, means in between the gyri you had the bleeding. you can very easily see here there are very dense white spots which are seen, and on CT scan of the brain, blood appears very dense black. Blood appears very dense black. Blood appears very dense white. See, on CT scan it is very easy. Blood or bone, they will appear dense white. Air, it will appear dense black. Water, it will appear blackish only, but not as black as air. The most black structure will be air, and the most white structure or radio opaque structure will be bone, and then next is the blood. So in this CT scan, see, we were able to see so many sulci here. See, there are so many sulci present everywhere, but on this CT scan we are not able to see anywhere any sulci at all. See, all the sulci, see, this was a sulcus, this was a sulcus, this is happening so dense white. Sulci are not at all there. You can see, and only in upper part of the brain you can see the sulci here, but in the middle portion there are no sulci. These all sulci are almost gone. These are almost filled with some hyperdense structure. So what we call it as effacement of sulci, or increased whitishness of the sulci, or reduction of the sulcal space because of the swelling of the gray matter. So here, see, we are not able to see any sulcus at all. Just see, here very minimally we can see few sulci, but in middle portion we are not able to see any sulcus. If you see here again, this is a subarachnoid bleed because it is very hyper dense or very high radio opaque or white structure, white dots, which represents subarachnoid hemorrhage. Here also you can see there is subarachnoid hemorrhage. Here also you can see there is subarachnoid hemorrhage or dense white structure, dense white lesion. So in this CT scan we are not able to see any sulci at all because this is all occupied by the gray matter, which is swollen because of the blunt injury to the brain and because of the presence of subarachnoid hemorrhage. So this can be very easily identified by this characteristic features. I hope this helps you. Thank you.